Okay, so let's talk about this. I feel like this is the biggest fight on the card because, especially like for a certain age group, with yeah, I would say a certain age range and demographic, especially like social media. The Devin Haney versus Brian Norman Jr. fight is already been giving out spice for for months now. So the dad's been going back and forth. It's been a lot of spicy talk online, like really back and forth since this fight announced. So, I'm curious to see before I get go in. What's your thoughts on this fight?
Well, let me say, I don't get caught up in social media, with the talking, because most people, you know, they fans, and so it's boxing. Boxing is, you have to know boxing. But everybody have an opinion, rightfully so. But with this one, Devin Haney, he's a distance fighter. He know how to pace himself. So that's a plus that he have, I think, going into the fight. Um, the matchup is a great matchup. I think, far as the age, the reach, that's perfect. Again, in this one, somebody will have to go. I do like Brian Norman. I do like Brian Norman. I just like his personality. I like he's reserved. He just hungry. You could tell he's new coming in, and he's not coming in with um, he's not coming in bold in the sense of he just more mellow. He just mellow. He coming in silent, but it's like a silent assassin. Like, okay, I see you. Yeah, you over there. You making your move. You flashy. I don't need to do all that. I'm gonna go to work on the 22nd. One thing that Haney said, which he said everybody, uh, basically he said, he called him a nobody. So basically, everybody is somebody, and that's the only thing I don't want Haney to get caught up on. Everybody is somebody, and when you underestimate, you kind of set yourself up. So I wouldn't underestimate your opponent. Never. I'm talking about nobody. I don't care. The record was 1-30. You just never underestimate your opponent, especially with an opponent like Brian Norman. So I'm going with on this one. I'm gonna go with Norman. I'm gonna go with Norman on this one. I ain't gonna even lie. I'm going with Norman. I just see something in him. Just he got that fire in his eyes, and he ready to go.
Yeah, I really do have a lot of thoughts on this fight, but yeah, I definitely let me say this. I definitely have a lot of thoughts, but I'm gonna trail it back a little bit. Let's talk about Haney for a minute. So Haney, to me, I like to break down the fighter skill set. Good, clean, effective punches with good accuracy. He has a good jab work, good timing, good footwork. Good discipline. Just overall a good, well-rounded, just a good fighter to me. No, especially before prior to the Ryan Garcia fight, I always felt like very good at controlling the distance, defense. The question with me is Haney did, let me not just say did, he has shown heart, but in because even with the Ryan Garcia situation, he got back up. So he showed, listen, he's still gonna try to give it his all at all times. I will say that about Haney. But the question at hand is too, will Haney be able to make the necessary adjustments in the ring? That's gonna be key. And with Garcia, that left hook. With Brian Norman, he has a dangerous left hook. We have seen, especially with the Garcia fight, Haney has been susceptible to the left hook. So is he gonna be able to take? Is Haney gonna be able to take Brian Norman's power, especially in particular if he lands that left hook? So I think that's gonna be a very big question at hand.
No, that's a good question. Will he be able to take the power? I guess we'll see that night, on the 22nd. However, if Norman apply pressure, because Haney don't like pressure. You look at his fight; he don't like pressure. So apply pressure. Only thing Brian need to do is apply pressure, and then I need to see him. Don't sit on the right hand too long. I think he sit on his right hand too long. I need to drop the right hand, drop the 1-2, and 1-2-3 punch combo. Drop the combos for real, for real. Don't sit on the right hand. Keep your jab in front of you, like the 1-2, 1-2, and stay in the center of the ring. Because again, Haney really don't like pressure. So if you apply pressure, it's gonna make a great fight. But again, Haney has the experience of going the distance. He's a distance fighter. Other than Norman, this is gonna be a test for Norman. He went the distance a couple of times, but it's gonna be a test because you have a veteran who knows how to go the distance, who know how to pace himself. But I think if you apply pressure, I think if Norman apply pressure, it's gonna make a great fight. It's gonna make a great fight.
And absolutely, yeah, definitely. I feel like the fight, it depends on, not depends on what type of Haney we gonna see too. You know, as far as the last fight, I'm not gonna lie, Haney versus Ramirez, that was, listen, that was a real hard watch. Everybody know who watched that fight. That was a very hard watch. You know, at times Haney seemed, very timid, almost like he, because of, due to what happened to with the Brian Garcia fight, so I guess him getting into the ring with Ramirez, I feel like he had to get his confidence back, and get his feet back wet. So I'm hopefully with this fight we're gonna see an even different Haney, a even hungrier Haney, and sharper. But the key thing to me with Brian Norman too is, will he be able to cut off the ring with Haney? Because you brought up a great point too, because Haney does have that experience. He does have that IQ in the ring and
He
discipline.
does. Yeah.
He's been in there. So with Brian Norman, he got to make sure that he cuts off the ring, stay composed, make sure, follow through with the game plan, be patient. But I feel like Brian Norman, I got Brian Norman 1 and 2. I feel like, Brian Norman power, just his explosiveness, his athleticism, his speed, his ability to unload devastating combinations. I think that's gonna be key too. His counter punching, Brian Norman's counter punching ability, and his his counters and his combos. Because too, with Devin Haney, if you unload a lot, we gonna see how Haney is gonna be able to handle the pressure, like you were saying too.
Mm-hmm.
So once Brian Norman, unload with all those combinations or whatever, and he really, put that pop on him, like really show you that power, it could be very devastating for Devin Haney. So we're gonna see if he can actually, handle that power and that pressure as a whole.
I think Norman, to your point, Norman should capitalize on Haney being dropped. Some boxers when they get dropped, that's like you get them jitters in the ring. That's normal. Again, I think Haney, if he's underestimating Norman, that's not good. That's not good at all. That's what I'm trying to say. Don't underestimate him. Maybe is he underestimating or he trying to hype himself up? Because he had those jitters of being dropped. But if Norman apply pressure, to your point, he gonna have to know how to cut the ring off because Haney do not like pressure. Period. So keep the jab out there. You cannot apply pressure without throwing those jabs. And I'm not talking about one jab. Don't sit on the right hand. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Stay in the center of the ring. Hey, just stay reserved. I think Norman's gonna pull this one off because I think he's just more hungry. I think if yeah, he a younger Haney, when Haney first started, so I just think he's gonna pull it off. I think Norman's gonna take this one.
Yeah, I agree with you too, and I think the difference is definitely going to be, like I said, the key factor, the power. Does Haney have anything to really keep, Brian, like, oh, okay, I'm not gonna come forward, or I'm not gonna come, and really, what I'm trying to say, like, yeah, does Haney have enough, pop to keep Brian to where he'd be like, oh, okay, I felt a little something, which we have known.
But style make fights though.
Yeah,
Again, Haney has the advantage of knowing how to go the distance. If nothing else, that guy can go the distance, and that's a key advantage to have. That's gonna be something we need to see if Norman can actually go the distance because we already know Haney. That's the hands down. He can do that. So rather, and again with the Garcia fight, listen, it's gonna be a tough one, but I think Norman can pull it off.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. I definitely got Norman. I'm even thinking possibly, like I said, definitely a knockout. Norman had, really, most people would say, probably the knockout of the year so far. So I'm looking to see if Norman can, unleash with his counter punching ability, with his timing, with his explosiveness, hit with his explosiveness to see if he can really, get Haney out of there. I feel like Norman too gotta dot his I's and cross his T's too, because Haney and them, they know the business, they know the inside and outside. So you gotta be very aware. You gotta stay disciplined. And once again, not to be repetitive, if I've not already said this, he gotta make sure that he follow, the game plan all the way through, because Haney is one of those fighters where, yes, they have a great understanding of boxing and what to do and how to do it. So you got to be prepared. And I think another key factor B is going to be like the foot movement, because some people saying, Brian don't got the feet, and they saying Devin Haney got the feet. So we're going to find out a lot of questions, will be answered, and I'm looking to see, because to me, I liked how Haney looked in the Loma fight. To me, two of Haney's best fights was when he fought Loma and Linares. Those was two very key fights. So we're going to see, what type of Haney, once again, we're going to get in this fight to see.
Yeah, I don't see a stoppage though. I see a distance. I see the distance. Because of Haney experience. I again, to your point, that Garcia showed a lot. I'm just Norman gonna have to step it up. He gonna have to be active. He gonna have to jab, but footwork, to your point, Haney. I don't see a stoppage, but I see Norman taking it. I see the distance. I see the distance for this one.
Okay, so I'm gonna go against you on this one.
Yeah.
I see possible stoppage, or at least a few knockdowns. I feel like
stable with Stace though.
No. Hold on. Let me say what I gotta say. Let me say what I gotta say. I'm saying, even if it's not a stoppage, though, I'm saying I'm gonna go with the stoppage.
Okay.
But if it's not a stoppage, I could possibly see a couple knockdowns.
Another Garcia night.
I could possibly see
night.
if Brian Norman say he gonna do what he say he gonna do, which I feel like him and Brian Norman Sr., when they say certain things, it has followed through into, like I said, Haney talks real spicy. Not saying that Norman don't talk spicy, but Haney be talking spicy in certain words and verbiage and the bum word. And, people get, say, oh, it's boxing. I understand. You can go back and forth, but we going to see. Even with I will say this. Let me just say this, then I'll be done. If Haney win this fight, I'm gonna give him all credit, because I definitely I don't have Haney winning this fight. So if Haney win this and it looks good and it's right, I'm gonna be like, okay, Haney, hats off. For real, you got my word.
Well, I'll give both of the boxers the hats off, because getting in the ring and even matchup. This is a good matchup. You got people out there don't want to be matched up, so this is a good matchup for both boxers to get in the ring. I'm just saying, I don't follow social media, so I don't know like what Haney be saying, but some people gotta hype themselves up. Maybe it's the hype. Maybe he need that. I don't know. It's two different personalities, but I wouldn't sleep on Norman, and Norman. I wouldn't sleep on Haney, only because the distance is getting me. He know how to go the distance, and he know how to go the distance for a reason. He's doing that. I mean, that's key. A lot of people don't know how to do that. Like,
right.
And he have a lot of his record.
So that part I completely agree with you on. That's gonna be very key. And I feel like Norman hasn't really fought anybody like Haney, and I feel like Haney hasn't really fought anybody all the way like Norman. So I feel like we are going to see. And I'm not saying, even though I got Brian Norman winning this fight, yes, I can still see Haney could definitely get the W. So we definitely
anything over boxing. Anything goes.
Yeah, you never know. So